Now this is your third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update. Happy Wednesday and hope everyone's having a great and safe day. How's your day been? Tell me down in the comments. Now we have some great news in regards to a third stimulus payments coming from Congress.
To have fewer people in the classroom, you have to have ventilation systems that have been reworked.
President Biden told Norah O'Donnell that federal guidance for a return to school is coming this week.
Our CDC commissioner we just named is going to be coming out with science-based judgment within, I think, as early as next Wednesday as to lay out what the minimum requirements are.
The president also laid out some of his red lines in the next COVID relief bill.
You've said you're not compromising on the $1,400 checks.
No.
He said he is willing to deal on some things, like lowering the income cutoff for stimulus checks and holding off on a $15 minimum wage. But on other provisions, like $400 a week unemployment benefits for the next 6 months, Mr. Biden is holding firm, to the frustration of a group of Senate Republicans who had hoped he would meet them halfway.
The administration is showing very clearly they don't care if they have to work with us.
You cannot afford to lose any votes, and a key vote is going to be Senator Manchin. So if you're looking about the policy forecast beyond just stimulus, Jonathan, keep watching people like Senator Portman, Pat Toomey now, and the other four, in addition to those two Republicans who said that they are not going to be running for re-election in 2022. That's who this administration has their eye on.
And also, I'd like to remind you guys that I'm still doing an Amazon gift card giveaway. If we get my channel to 50,000 subscribers, I'll be giving out several Amazon gift cards. And best of all, to enter my giveaway, it is free. And all that you have to do is subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notifications, give this video a like, and share this video with your family and friends, because I'm pretty sure they would like the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. Everyone, thank you so much for your awesome support.
I love hearing folks like Chuck Schumer arguing for a $15 minimum wage when he is in New York City, which is a high cost of living state and city. But what they are forgetting, these progressive liberals, is the folks in middle America where our cost of living is much lower. Raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour will put 1.4 million Americans out of work. We don't want to see that. We don't want to kill small business. I think this is a decision that is better left up to our states and localities.
What do you think about the fact that Amazon is out there advertising all around the Beltway how they are so supportive of the $15 an hour minimum wage, when you think about mom and pops in Iowa that have already suffered because of Amazon's presence?
Well, exactly. This may be great for folks in New York City or Los Angeles, California, but when you come to my hometown of Red Oak, Iowa, and you go down in our town square, those small mom and pop shops cannot afford a $15 minimum wage.
And that is that Congress has already moved forward with the reconciliation process, which will allow a third stimulus check to be passed without the help from Republicans. And the stimulus plan, which was unveiled Monday night, would keep $1,400 stimulus checks flowing to Americans making up to $75,000 a year. But some moderate Democrats have proposed a bill that will lower that income threshold to only $50,000. For the Americans that are making $75,000 a year, should they receive a third stimulus check? Tell me down in the comments, everybody. Now, the new stimulus plan from House Democrats, which was unveiled Monday night, would keep $1,400 stimulus payments going to Americans making up to $75,000 a year. But like I said, some Democrats want to lower the income threshold to only $50,000. And that would tighten eligibility for those making over, and this would tighten eligibility for those making over 75 grand as an individual. Now, couples also making $150,000 would also qualify for the direct payments, with that eligibility phasing out for earners making up to $200,000. Centrist Democrats have pushed to lower the threshold for joint tax filers to only 100 grand. The details on the third stimulus check will be among the first tests of unity for Democratic leaders in Washington. Already, a number of policymakers have emerged as potential sticking points. Bernie Sanders, for instance, is pushing for income levels for stimulus checks and a new $15 an hour federal minimum wage. House Democrats are also speeding toward passage of their own version of Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion bill by the end of February, though key components of that bill can change when it reaches the Senate. With the narrowest of margins, a single Democrat could determine the relief bill's fate.
In addition, workers and households who struggle to find their place in the post-pandemic economy are likely to need continued support. The same is true for many small businesses that are likely to prosper again once the pandemic is behind us. Also important is a patiently accommodative monetary policy stance that embraces the lessons of the past about the labor market in particular and the economy more generally. I described several of those important lessons as well as our new policy framework at the Jackson Hole Conference last year. I've already mentioned the broad-based benefits that a strong labor market can deliver and noted that many of these benefits only arose toward the end of the previous expansion. I also noted that these benefits were achieved with low inflation. Indeed, inflation has been much lower and more stable over the past 3 decades than in earlier times. In addition, we have seen that the longer-run potential growth rate of the economy appears to be lower than it once was, in part because of population aging, and that the neutral rate of interest, with a rate consistent with the economy being at full employment with 2% inflation, is also much lower than before. A low neutral rate means that our policy rate will be constrained more often by the effect of lower bound. That circumstance can lead to worse economic outcomes, particularly for the most economically vulnerable Americans. To take these economic developments into account, we made substantial revisions to our monetary policy framework as described in the FOMC's Statement on Longer Run Goals and Monetary Policy Strategy. This revised statement shares many features with its predecessor, including our view that longer run inflation of 2% is most consistent with our mandate to promote maximum employment and price stability.
And some in the party are already concerned that Manchin alone could reject the House's proposal. Folks, what do you think of Joe Manchin? Tell me in the comments down below. Will he approve or disapprove of a third stimulus check being $1,400? Now, the House Ways and Means Committee will begin considering its part of the massive reconciliation bill on Wednesday and go through on Friday. The tax writing panel has a huge portion of the relief plan, including a boost in federal unemployment benefits and a major expansion of child tax benefits. The proposal released Monday would expand the popular tax credit for having kids to as much as $3,600 per child, up from the current $2,000, while aiming to allow recipients to claim a portion of the break each month in the form of a check from the government. Now, Biden is also under increasing pressure to tighten the qualifications for the third round of stimulus payments, as Democrats in Congress draft the next big rescue package. Joe Biden already did propose a $1,400 check to most Americans, but Democrats have disagreed about whether to make it more difficult for people to qualify for the payment. Bernie Sanders has made it really clear, guys, that he wants almost every American to receive a third stimulus check if you received a first and second payment. He told CNN to say a worker in Vermont or California or any place else that if you're making $52,000 a year, you're too rich to get this help. The full benefits? I think that's absurd. That's all the news in today's video, folks, and I really hope you found this video useful.